Hey, what is up, everybody? Heading to my buddy's house to watch the end of this Flyers game, trying to close out the series against the Montreal Canadiens. But, I got to address something. I made a video back in March saying I was boycotting the Philadelphia 76ers because I don't like the owner. But you know what? I know a lot of content creators that talk about the Philadelphia 76ers, and a lot of people watch them, and they're not really hitting the right details on the head when it comes to the problems with this team. So I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to give you my opinion, my voice on why the Sixers stink, and, you just listen if you want to. You don't have to, but listen if you want to, all right? The biggest problem with this team is actually not Brett Brown, believe it or not. Unfortunately, it's Elton Brand, and I say unfortunately because I actually like Elton Brand. I think Elton Brand is a really good guy. He's smart. He went to Duke. He graduated with a degree, and they put him at the helm to get this team better. And he started off great, and he was definitely better than Colangelo. Colangelo was a clown. But the thing about Elton Brand was, when they couldn't acquire Butler to come back, he made a panic move and signed Tobias Harris to a max contract. He completely panicked. And, a lot of people were saying you had to sign one or two or both of them. No, you didn't. You didn't. You did not have to give Tobias Harris 5 years, $170 million. He's not worth that. He was never worth that. He was on the Clippers team that, they gave him up, and they were actually better without him. They made the playoffs without him. They went further without him. You didn't have to bring back Tobias Harris. You could have waited out for Klay Thompson or something. You did not have. You have Ben and Embiid. You have two superstars. Well, I don't think Ben's a superstar, but to each their own. You had Ben, you had Embiid, two high draft picks. That were working together. You're trying to get them chemistry, and you didn't have to waste all that money on Tobias Harris. Now, I kind of get the Al Horford contract because Al Horford killed us for years, and it was good to pry him away from Boston and put him on our own team and make it work. But unfortunately, that contract didn't live up to the hype, and Horford is obviously a Boston Celtic. He has no business playing here. And unfortunately, the problem is Elton Brand, because sometimes as a GM, you take a lot of risks, and that was a really bad risk. Horford was a horrible contract. Tobias Harris was a terrible contract. And I'm not even going to say that Brand thought about bringing him back in the first place to begin with. I honestly think it was a pure panic move. I don't think if he was in the right mindset, he would have signed Tobias Harris for all that money. I never liked the contract at all. I thought the guy was a good player. I never thought he was a key player to our success. I just never did. I would have rather brought back J.J. Redick than Tobias Harris, to be honest with you. I thought J.J. Redick was a better pure shooter. I never really liked Tobias Harris' shot. But listen, those are my thoughts. I know, and here's the thing about Brett Brown. Brett Brown is going to get fired. I was actually a Brett guy. I still am a Brett guy. I like Brett. Anytime you have a prodigy of Greg Popovich, you never want to get rid of them. But the problem with Brett Brown is that you cannot continue to lose to your most hated rival in this fashion. It's like the Eagles losing to the Cowboys 8 straight times. It's like it just never ends. And they're getting completely cocksmacked by the Boston Celtics. It's not even close. And they're without Gordon Hayward. You know what I'm saying? So when you lose so consistently to your most hated rival, like Stevens out-coaches them every single time they play, you're going to get fired. You're eventually going to get fired. It doesn't matter if it took a double doink last year against the Toronto Raptors to bring him back because you thought you had what it took without Jimmy Butler. Well, apparently you didn't, because Jimmy Butler, he was the X factor, believe it or not, and it sucks we got rid of him. Well, he didn't come back because apparently he was on J.J. Redick's podcast, and he said he didn't come back because of Brett Brown. He didn't like the way he coached. So, it looks like we're going to be looking for a new coach after this year. I had to give you these thoughts and opinions because I don't really like what these other Sixers content creators are feeding you. They're not feeding you the real facts. They're not. They're saying it's all on Brett and stuff. They're not really pinpointing the problems to this team. And, that's why I came on here to give you my what I had to tell you, because I had some of my friends come to me and ask me for betting tips when it comes to the Sixers, and I told them stay far the fuck away from them because they're not a team. They're not. They have no fight. Even with Ben Simmons, they had no fight. They would always give up leads. So, I'm still in boycott mode when it comes to the Sixers. Don't get me wrong, because I don't like Joshua Harris. But, you know, eventually I will be back. Eventually, I don't know when it is. But hopefully you guys take this for what it is. And hopefully you guys like the video. That's all I'm going to say. And go Flyers. Let's close out the series against Montreal tonight. Bye.